All right, we got to go to the late games. Let's get into the late games. And the first late game we're talking about is so freaking marquee. You may notice, you may see this on the Zoom. We video together. I'm wearing my Bears hat because I am all in. Like, there's already reports out there that the Bears are thinking about bringing back Mitch Trubisky.
Mm.
I hate the idea. I have felt like the Bears just should have gone in the tank, started over, fired everybody, rebuilt, get like foundationally strong, and like let's start over. But they got a chance to go to the playoffs. The other day, my kid said to me, my 14-year-old, he's like, "You can have a Super Bowl this year, but you got to keep Mitch Trubisky for the next 5 years." My answer was, I take the Super Bowl because nothing replaces winning a Super Bowl, and you can like live with pain and agony after that. So I'm gonna go all in on the Bears plus 5.5. It's a pros Joe's game. All the bets coming in on the Packers, all the money coming in on the Bears. Talk me off this. Tell me I'm wrong.
And that's like the perfect mentality about the Super Bowl. Like as an Eagles fan, if that Dallas loss would have happened just say 4 years ago, I'd still be in my bed like crying, just being like, we're the worst. We always do this. We're just failures. But having a Super Bowl ring, it just makes you breathe easy. Where you're just like, that wasn't our year. It was our year 3 years ago. Now this year is not our year. But with the Bears, I'm with you. If they can just get in, I love this team. I love this defense so much. And the fact that Green Bay could be the 1 seed, I know this game decides if they'll be the 1 seed, but back to the Bears, this will if they can make the playoffs and then they have to play the Packers for a third time. That's such a huge advantage with these different teams. But like you just said, the Bears are a home dog. All the money's coming in on the Packers. This is just an easy play where as long as it stays above 3.5, we take the Bears. I know not Teddy, Trubisky, this is where he lets us down. But it's one of these things where the Bears, they're running the ball great. They're not asking him to do too much, Trubisky. Like literally all he's doing is one or two reads and he'll just get it to Allen or he'll just dump it off like short. So the way the Bears are playing right now, I love this number. I think we're getting great value of 5.5.
We haven't chosen a Hornet's Nest game or a Foxhole game.
You want this to be Foxhole?
This feels like a Foxhole game to me. You and I, it's an unattractive pick. Everybody is coming in on the Packers. You and I are aligned. We are together. We are compadres. We're not companions on this. That's the Hornet's Nest. We are compadres. We are Foxhole in this shit.
Oh yeah, this is D-Day. We're storming the beaches here. We're running up the hill to take down the Germans that we call Aaron Rodgers.
We are Saving Private Ryan this game. We are Tom Hanks and Edward Burns, and we are in the foxhole, and we are firing our guns, going on the Bears. Woohoo.
Let's do it.
All right. Titans visiting the Texans. Titans minus 7.5.
Another money line spot where I hate this number because Houston, they're bad. I get it. Their defense is terrible, but they still have Deshaun Watson, who he won't care if they're down 37-7 in the first half. Deshaun Watson's going to keep fighting, keep trying to score. So for me, I hate this number. 7.5 is terrifying to me, where Houston, they're playing for nothing. They don't even have their own first round draft pick. Like they don't care about losing. And after JJ Watt's speech last week, he got me so fired up about just the whole mindset of a football player and like what gets him going. God, I want to take the Texans, but
No, you
like
don't.
I had this number at 7.5, and this is one of the few games where both teams are playing all their players. But with all the injuries to the Texans defense, I can't put this in the competition. So for the people listening out there, this is one of those where if you're doing these money line parlays, I put the Titans in one of them. I like the Titans money line here.
The better bet is whatever the total rushing yards prop is for Derrick Henry, bet the over because he's like 200 yards away from 2,000 yards. And they are going to pound the ball against a Texans defense and watch him get to that 2,000-yard mark.
I love that play. It's smart.
Well, every once in a while. I might have been your anchor. I might have been dragging you down all season long in the contest, but every once in a while, a blind squirrel finds a nut. Seahawks, -5 on the road at the Niners. They've already got the NFC West. Niners are a
Uh,
good team.
they're they're the ugly girlfriend. No one wants to show that they bet the Niners or talk about how they bet the Niners. But we love the Niners.
We
We
love
love
the
when they're
Niners.
dogs. We love the big value here. I wish it was still +6, but the sharps already came in and hit this down. I still would take this number.
Me
It's
too.
like you just said, the Seahawks have already wrapped everything up. This is like I know they're playing for the top seed, but I just see like this game. I feel like this game is going to mean more for the 49ers. And I just like this number a lot. I think as long as it stays above 3.5, 4, if it stays at 4.5, this is good value here. So I'd be cool with putting the 49ers in.
I like the 49ers a lot here. I don't like the Chargers Chiefs game. Chargers are, Chargers right now are 3.5 point favorites because obviously the Chiefs have everything wrapped up, blah, 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 blah. I'm not a fan of teams sitting all their players at the end of the year. I think it's bad for rhythm. I think you need to get these guys in there. It's just not it's not a theory I subscribe to. But I'm still not going to bet on the Chargers.
Really? I actually like them here. We've
No.
seen the Chiefs are just incredible on offense, and they have some good players on defense for sure. But the reason they win, and they haven't been covering, which has been pretty fun betting against them because they just have not been covering the Chiefs. But this is one of those where if it's all the backups on the Chiefs playing against a Chargers team that's playing all their starters, I like the Chargers here. But I'm with you. I wouldn't put this in the competition simply because that's a weird number, 3.5. So we can stay away, but I do like the Chargers at this spot.
I already forgot what our big balls bet of the week was. Was it Giants?
Yeah.
All right. Raiders, 2 point favorites on the road at the Broncos. Look, the Drew Locks have let us down all year, and we've chosen them in a couple spots that we thought were smash spots for the Broncos, and it hasn't worked out. I just don't think like he's the kind of guy who, when they're down by a lot, he can put them in a spot to backdoor. He is not a guy who's going to keep them in any games that are close. It's 2.5. They're 2.5 point dogs at home. It's kind of a meaningless game all the way around. All the money, all the bets, both sides of it coming in on the Raiders. What say you?
Love Denver. This is like
Oh,
I
God.
know, such a great time to take them. The Raiders defense is trash. Well, the city of Las Vegas doesn't even care about the Raiders anymore. They're that bad. After that loss against the Dolphins, that was embarrassing. So Gruden, he's reeling. He's the worst winning percentage of any Raiders coach. I think they posted that in like the history of the Raiders. So for me, this seems like a team that's given up. Where the Broncos, they played tough last week. I think they lost by a field goal. I'll keep taking the Broncos. It's a hard life. It's not a fun life, but they've been covering most of these weeks for me down the stretch here. So I'll take the Broncos here, and hopefully this gets to +3.
Are the Broncos like a hornet's nest game? It's an ugly, unattractive bet. The Broncos could be the perpetual hornet's nest.
They could. I was saving it for the last game.
All right, that's a good idea. Let's save it. Let's save it. I'll put the Broncos on our list, but let's save it.
I don't want to make the people bet on the Broncos.
Yeah, seriously. The Cardinals are, it's a weird number. Like some places showing big numbers, some places showing the Cardinals as 4 point dogs. Other places like DraftKings has the Rams as 1.5 point favorites. I don't know what to do here because like Jared Goff isn't playing. He's broken his thumb. Jared Goff broke his thumb. They say that he might be able to return for the playoffs if they make it. For the record, I broke my thumb in August, had surgery 2 weeks later. I still can't bend it all the way. So I don't know how a guy is going to come back from a broken thumb and like be able to grip a football in 2 weeks.
Well, hopefully a guy that's 24 heals quicker than a guy in his late 70s. So I think he'll be all right.
I did
No,
say
man.
that. I did say that to my orthopedist. Like, how the fuck are these guys getting on the field and playing football 7 days after breaking their fingers? And he's like, they're 22 years old.
Yeah, right. Yeah, this is like one of these sick games where I would love to take the Rams here because, like we said, we love fading Cliff. Cliff's the worst coach, and McVay is going to coach circles around him. But I'm scared to tell people to do it because it's one of those where I personally will be betting heavy on the Rams just because all the money's been coming on the Cardinals, and I don't think Goff is worth that much to the Rams team. Like, tell me how many points Jared Goff is worth, and I'll tell you how much you're wrong. Because I just don't think he's this great quarterback. He's a below average quarterback that's in a great system. So everything I read about this backup is this kid's quick. He's a really good athlete that he's been in McVay's system for a couple years now. So I don't hate the Rams play. I really don't. I think that as long as this number keeps getting bet up, because people are going to come in so heavy on the Cardinals, if this ever gets to +7 or 7.5, I'm definitely going to put the Rams in my competition. But for all the people out there, I completely understand you don't like putting a ton of money on a backup quarterback, but fading Cliff, it's fun. It's easy. So McVay versus Cliff, don't think about it too much.
Yeah. By the way, we're in week 17, and we are going to have more games that we are choosing we are choosing 5 from than we had throughout the entire year. We've already got, I think, 7 or 8 games that we have decided we liked, because I just wrote the Rams down as underdogs. 2 more
I
games in
love
this. No,
I love
3
week
more games.
17. I love
We
it.
do
I
love
love
it.
week 17.
We got 3 more games. We got the Jags Colts. I mean, like the
Keep it
Colts.
moving.
Yeah, okay. Colts are 2 touchdown favorites. Forget this. Saints Panthers. Saints are 6.5 point favorites on the road at the Teddy Covers. Dude, it's like they are begging us to take the Panthers.
Hornets nest.
We got a hornet's nest. Be my companion.
We have to. Teddy covers, baby. We talk every time. Teddy's a dog. Who cares? Who cares? Who cares? You just take the number. I don't care what your numbers say about the Saints, how much better the Saints are, all of that noise. Teddy is a dog. We love it.
Yeah. Like, how do we not? We have to honor him. If for no other reason, we have to choose the Panthers to honor Teddy Covers.
Yeah,
That's
I
my
love it.
also, like, at this point, still very low volume, but like 80% of the bets coming in on the Saints, of course we are going to take the Panthers, and this number is going to go up, and we're going to love it. All right. Washington football team playing for its lungs dropped Dwayne Haskins this week. As soon as he was dropped, my kid, he was like, man, he's going to have a great career in the XFL. The Washington football team, 1.5 point favorites against the Philadelphia Eagles. Professional football quarterback Alex Smith will be playing. I would take Washington here.
Yeah, don't hate the number. It's scary because we're saying to ourselves, Alex Smith is coming off a pretty serious injury if it's held him out the last couple of weeks. And everything we've seen from Washington is their defense is still playing at the highest of levels. Like Chase Young is playing out of his mind. He had 2 strip sack fumbles last week for Washington. So, like you just said, this Washington team, they're really playing for something here, where the only guy in the Eagles who's going to be playing for something is Hurts. And I don't really like that situation where the rest of the team is already thinking about their vacation, and you got a rookie QB who he played terrible last week. He really did. He just made really bad mistakes. And like we talked all year, this Washington front 4 has been very profitable for us. As long as Alex Smith is the quarterback, Washington has been really good to us. So we'll keep playing what got us here, buddy. I'll take Washington with you.
We will honor Alex Smith, professional football quarterback. I feel like we should get him a badge, and like, instead of having the little Walter Payton patch on his jersey, he should get like a professional football quarterback patch that's we send him from the favorites. I wonder if
No, you gotta DM him and say, "Hi, this is Chad Millman, New York Times bestseller, and I run a company called the Action Network, and I'd love to have you on because I've been championing you all year, unlike most people." So I feel like he'll get back to you because you're the only person who's been in his corner in the betting world all year.
It's true. It's totally true. I will say, you know why I love him, and I think I mentioned this when I was editor-in-chief of the magazine, of ESPN the magazine. Seth Wickersham, who is one of the best NFL writers in the country, did a phenomenal story about Alex Smith after he had broken his collarbone with the Niners, and like just the agony of having to come back from that, and like Alex Smith's dedication to coming back from it. Like, I remember this scene about Smith sleeping upright in a chair because it was so painful to do anything else, and like just the rigor and effort and depression that comes on from having to come back from an injury. You know, if a guy like that comes back from what he came back from with the leg, like he's a pro. And you know, I like nothing more. I value nothing more than professionals in any level.
Pro's pro.
Pro's pro.